Hello everyone and welcome to our weekly wrap-up of news stories that made the headlines. I'm Nicole Cordoves and this is the MB Rundown. Officials confirmed on Monday that the head of the Islamic State group in Southeast Asia and one of the leaders of the Islamic State-inspired Maute group were killed by troops mounting a final assault to reclaim Marawi City. The death of Abu Sayyaf leader and Islamic State's anointed emir in Southeast Asia, Isnilon Hapilon and Omar Khayyam Maute, came during a ground assault to end the 4-month siege of Marawi, a battle that has claimed more than 1,000 lives and raised fears that Islamic State was seeking to set up a regional base in Mindanao. But top Malaysian militant Mahmud bin Ahmad, who uses the pseudonym Abu Hansalah and is a close associate of Hapilon, has not been found and military operations are currently ongoing to capture him. There are reports that he is still hiding in one of the buildings. Omar's brother, Abdullah Maute, was reported by the military to have been killed in August, though nobody was found to prove his death. Defense Secretary Delfin Lorenzana said Hapilon carried a $10 million reward from the United States and another 10 million pesos from the Philippine government, while Maute carried a 5 million peso reward for his capture. Armed Forces of the Philippines Chief of Staff General Eduardo Año said 5 other terrorists were killed, but their identities were not immediately known. The government troops were also able to rescue 17 more hostages, leaving more than 20 hostages still in the hands of the terrorists. In related news, Justice Secretary Vitaliano Aguirre II announced on Wednesday that the widow of a local radical group's leader has been arrested for spreading terror propaganda and inviting foreign and Filipino fighters to fight for terror groups Maute Group and Islamic State at the height of the Marawi City siege. Karen Aiza Hamidon, the Filipino widow of Ansar Khalifa, Philippines leader Mohammad Jafar Magid, alias Tokboy, was arrested last October 11 at her home in Taguig City by agents of the National Bureau of Investigation Counterterrorism Division. Magid was killed during a shootout with police in Sarangani last January. The NBI seized from her mobile phones, tablets, laptops, and other electronic devices she allegedly used in posting in social media applications like Telegram and WhatsApp to send her invitations for fighters to go to Marawi City. Because of these posts, 14 counts of violation of Article 318, which is inciting a rebellion or insurrection of the revised Penal Code as amended in relation to Section 6 of Republic Act 10175, the Cybercrime Prevention Act of 2012, were filed against Hamidon before the Department of Justice. Apart from these complaints, a separate complaint for rebellion will be filed against her for 296 posts that were found on her mobile phone. Meanwhile, Aguirre called on the public to come forward if they have any information about Hamidon that could aid the investigation for her participation in the Marawi rebellion. The NBI took notice of Hamidon's post last October 11, which spread to various public groups in Telegram. The Senate made public on Wednesday the testimony of John Paul Solano, the prime suspect in the death of Horacio Acho Castillo III. 6 Aegis Jewish brothers involved in the fatal hazing were also named by Solano. In Solano's statement, he said it was Oliver John O.J. Onofre who called him around 6:30 a.m. to proceed to their fraternity library near the UST campus. Solano declined at first as he supposedly had to work at his father's clinic that morning, but was prompted to go when Onofre told him someone had collapsed. When he arrived at Frat Library 2 hours later, Solano said he was greeted by Axel Hipe, and he then found inside Aegis Juris Grand Prefectus Arvin Balag, member Mark Anthony Ventura, and 22-year-old Castillo, who lay unconscious on the floor. Solano said he tried to administer cardiopulmonary resuscitation, which failed as he did not get a response. Meanwhile, Director of the Manila Police District Chief Superintendent Joel Coronel reported that some members of the Aegis Juris fraternity allegedly attempted to cover up and conceal the participation of their younger brothers in the hazing incident. Coronel cited a Facebook chat thread the MPD retrieved early October where Aegis Juris alumni and members intended to cover up, conceal, avoid, and evade investigation and prosecution on Castillo's case. The chat group, he said, was created September 17, hours after Castillo died. It included 30 active alumni and members of the fraternity. At least 18 Aegis Jewish discussed their next steps after the fatal initiation rites of their brother and agreed to meet in a hotel in Cubao, Quezon City on the same day. The message thread, screenshots of which were presented in the Senate hearing, showed that fraternity members attempted to get rid of the evidence, including the paddle, inside the Aegis Jewish fraternity library before police could go there. Most of the personalities mentioned were invited to attend the hearing by Senator Panfilo Lacson, but only Grand Prefectus Arvin Balag, Jose Miguel Salamat and Ferdinand Bonguet Rogelio appeared. The country's most senior cardinal and Cebu Archbishop Emeritus Ricardo Cardinal Vidal passed away Wednesday morning. Cardinal Vidal passed away at 7:28 a.m. while confined at the intensive care unit of the Perpetual Succor Hospital in Cebu City. He was 86 years old. Monsignor Joseph Tan of the Cebu Archdiocese confirmed Cardinal Vidal's death in a statement and asked from the public to pray for Cardinal Vidal's eternal repose. No concrete plans have been disclosed yet, but Cardinal Vidal will be given full honors given that he is the Cebu Archbishop. In the afternoon of October 11, Vidal went unconscious until Friday morning, which prompted Cebu Archbishop Jose Palma along with Cebu Auxiliary Bishop Dennis Villarojo to administer to Vidal the sacrament of extreme unction, commonly called as the last rites or anointing of the sick. Vidal had been in and out of the hospital since 2014 due to pneumonia. It was the third time this year that he was brought to a medical center. Cardinal Vidal served as Archbishop of Cebu for 29 years. He is among the 4 cardinals in the Philippines, along with the Manila Archbishop Luis Antonio Cardinal Tagle, Manila Archbishop Emeritus Gaudencio Cardinal Rosales, and Cotabato Archbishop Orlando Cardinal Quevedo. Transport Group Piston staged a 2-day transport strike nationwide aiming to paralyze the transport system to show their opposition to the government's Public Utility Vehicle Modernization Program. Piston National President George San Mateo called on President Duterte to junk the upcoming PUV modernization program through the Department of Transportation's Omnibus Franchising Guidelines. The Piston National Head tagged the program as oppressive for being corporate monopoly-driven instead of aiming for a more efficient transport system. Various groups under the No to Jeepney Coalition and some labor groups led by Kilusang Mayo Uno also supported Piston with their protest, calling on President Duterte to adopt a modernization program geared towards a nationalized mass transport system beneficial to drivers, operators, and the riding public. In their joint statement, they said the administration's phase-out scheme will displace over 1 million Filipinos in the PUJ industry. They added that the government's 80,000 peso subsidy per unit would only bury them in debts they could never repay. The group also explained that the program would also burden the riding public since minimum fares would increase to 20 pesos. President Duterte, on the other hand, has given transport groups until the end of the year to comply with the government's modernization program. The president threatened to remove old and dilapidated jeepneys from the streets by January 2018, saying that these rundown units are contributing to pollution and pose health risks to the public. Because of this, the president issued the warning after criticizing Piston for refusing to upgrade to new and environment-friendly PUV units. Due to the 2-day transport strike, the government suspended classes in all levels nationwide, including work in all government offices on Monday and Tuesday. U.S. President Donald Trump will meet several key Asian leaders next month, including President Rodrigo Duterte, on a tour otherwise dominated by efforts to isolate North Korea. Trump's first Asian tour as president will take him to Japan, South Korea, China, Vietnam, and the Philippines, where he will attend the ASEAN Summit. The United States has important trade ties in the region, but Trump's economic agenda will be overshadowed by the major foreign policy crisis of his presidency so far, which is the North Korean standoff. Last month, Trump warned at the United Nations that he is prepared to totally destroy the Pyongyang regime if it does not give up its quest for nuclear-armed intercontinental missile. In Japan, the first leg of his trip, Trump will meet the families of the Japanese hostages kidnapped by North Korean agents, lending support to Tokyo's demand that they be released. In Seoul on November 7, Trump will meet U.S. troops and President Moon Jae-in before addressing the South Korean parliament to urge the international community to join together in maximizing pressure on North Korea. In Beijing, Trump will renew his relationship with China's President Xi Jinping, who has spoken publicly of his warm friendship with his U.S. counterpart. From there, he will travel to Vietnam, then on to the ASEAN summit in Manila. In this day and age of digital revolution, it is essential for companies to take advantage of technology to further enhance their business and to better serve the Filipino consumers. Through the Digicon DX 2017, different industry leaders and innovators gathered to discuss the digital transformation that we are experiencing today. Among those present in the conference was the President and CEO of Globe Telecom, Mr. Ernest Koo. During the CEO panel of the conference, Koo, along with the heads of companies from different industries, talked about the efforts of companies in leading the digital transformation in the country.
For us, it's a matter of survival. Because early on in my career at Globe, we actually declared the telco industry the way we know it is dead. Right? Calling and SMS, long distance, all of that I think is going away in favor of what is a digital lifestyle for Filipinos. That is what the public wants, that's what the consumer wants. And that's why you see everything we've done ever since that declaration has been towards empowering the Filipino digital lifestyle. Building a network, creating stores that introduce smartphones to Filipinos, and today that's evolved into stores that actually demonstrate the Filipino lifestyle. Be it video entertainment, music entertainment, social media, gadgets.
Film director and head of Globe Studios, Quark Henares, also shed light on what Globe is doing for the entertainment industry in the country. In his talk, Henares shared plans of Globe to create more content and give opportunities to Filipino content creators to showcase their work. Globe is also pushing for subscription video on demand as a tool to combat film piracy in the country. Co-founder and president of Kickstar Ventures Incorporated, Minette Navarrete, on the other hand, joined the panel on the role of women in the digital world. During the panel's discussion, Navarrete said that women have to carve the path for other females, most especially in an industry that are so dominated by men. She also advised both men and women to find balance that works for them. In the end, Navarrete said that both men and women must work side by side for a good balance to create better decisions at work. Apart from giving inspiring and informative talks, Globe also won 8 awards at the Boomerang Awards that took place on the third day of the Digicon DX 2017. Globe, together with its advertising agency Publicis Jimenez Basic, won Best of Show and Best in Effectiveness for the campaign promoting the partnership of Globe with the movie Star Wars Rogue One. The campaign also won 1 gold, 3 silvers, and 1 bronze awards in different categories. With the success of the campaign, Globe was hailed as the Advertiser of the Year. Congratulations to Globe for a job well done. Award-winning British singer-songwriter Ed Sheeran said Monday that some upcoming shows could be cancelled after he suffered a cycling accident, posting an image of his arm in a cast and a sling. Britain's Daily Mail said the accident happened in London on Sunday. Sheeran is due to perform in Taipei to start a massive Asia tour taking place in Japan, South Korea, Hong Kong, Philippines, Singapore, Malaysia, Thailand, and India. He is also scheduled to play in the United Arab Emirates. Sheeran is one of the best-selling artists in the world, and his latest album, Divide, smashed Spotify records, drawing 57 million listens on the first day of its release. And finally, in sports, NBA All-Star forward Gordon Hayward suffered a horrific injury on Tuesday, less than 6 minutes into his first game for the Boston Celtics. Hayward, acquired by the Celtics from the Utah Jazz in the off-season, came down hard after a leaping cut to the basket to try to catch an alley-oop pass from the former Cavaliers point guard Kyrie Irving. Cleveland superstar LeBron James tried to break up the play, but Hayward was caught in the air and came down hard. His left leg twisted unnaturally. As team staff raced to him, the 27-year-old Celtics teammates huddled together. The shock was clear on the faces of Cavaliers players too as the hush fell over their arena. Hayward was stretchered off with his left leg immobilized from foot to thigh, sitting up on the stretcher as he was carried off. After he was examined by medical staff on both teams, the Celtics said he has been diagnosed with a broken ankle. The injury cast a pall on the opening game of the NBA's 2017-2018 season. Players from around the league were quick to offer him support via social media. And for this week's thought to ponder on. In the end, it's not the years in your life that count, it's the life in your years. And that was by Abraham Lincoln. And that's it for this week's edition of the MB Rundown. I'm Nicole Cordovez. Have a great weekend.